Okay, so look, it's great to see you today, Louis, coming into the studio to talk about our 2024 Super 6 Blacktown City Youth Games, which we're all really excited about. Obviously, we've been working on Super 6 now for the last 6-7 years. We're really passionate about helping the youth in the community. But how do you see the games? What do you think that can offer the young people in this community, you know, from all sides, athletes, you know, other young people, and what's it going to give them?
Look, for me, first of all, it's amazing to have it at Blacktown. Yeah. For me, it means a lot because obviously I was a local. I played junior rugby league at Blacktown City. I lived in Doonside. I went to Doonside Primary School, and here we are about to have these crazy games for opportunities for young kids to be seen and be heard. And the other thing is, what I learnt from being in Doonside in that area was opportunities never come around that often, and you always got told things that you didn't like to hear. Like for me, it was like, I make you too skinny. You're not fast enough. You're not big enough. You're not going to be strong enough. But it takes a little bit of belief, a little bit of an opportunity, just for someone to see, you know, some sort of attribute that I had there that could see me moving forward. And mate, now we're giving young kids an opportunity in the area that I grew up to be able to be seen, an opportunity in a totally different sport that they might not even be thinking about. It could be a running event. It could be a throwing event. It could be a football event. I'm not too sure what it could be, but it could bring out something that's, you know, that is hiding away. That could be an absolutely massive beast. And I think it's an absolutely amazing concept. I do believe that this is going to be huge. And it's great for the kids and the community. Like for me, everything's about community. The only way you can move forward is if everyone in the community is moving in the same direction. And I think this gives a really clear path for young kids, for parents, and also just to build a sense of belief, I suppose, and understanding about what they're about and how they want to move forward. So first of all, congratulations, because I know we've been talking about it. You've done a great job in getting some really good people behind the scenes to help drive this to where you need to get it to. And I know you've had this, you know, these cards sitting pretty close to your chest for a long period of time, and now it's about to come true. So, mate, to be a part of it and to be a local boy who absolutely loves the area, to be able to give back to these kids, I can't wait for it to start. Yeah. Can we start now?
You'd probably win, Louis. You'd probably win. So, look, the concept of the game, as you know, is where all young athletes from all sports can actually come together in a unique arena-based event to compete against each other to see who the best all-round athlete is. And obviously that's a celebration for young athletes. But more importantly, the athletes that register, they're actually going to be given a training program leading into the games, but also our mental skills program, our Survive and Thrive program, which helps them think positively and gives them the tools not just to be successful in sport, but in life as well, which is so needed in the community at the moment with young people. And then obviously we've got our follow-on program after the game. So it's more than just a standalone games. In itself, it's a great concept, and I know it's going to be really successful and rewarding for everybody participating. But more than that, you know, our aim, because where we came from, Louis, is to try and really help young people physically and emotionally. And that's the point of difference with Super 6. You know, we know that it makes, you know, amazing changes in young people, safe environment, physically and emotionally for young people. But this is a way that we can actually spread that word throughout the whole of the community. So, yeah, it's fantastic that Blacktown City Council, who are perceived as a really forward-thinking council, have joined forces with this of the games. And this is our first game in Australia. We're hoping to spread that across Australia. But it's just a great way that the whole community can come together. Now, yeah, it's a sporting event. But also we're going to need lots of volunteers. So we're going to bring in volunteer groups, the scouts, the guides, other youth volunteering organisations for them young people to come and actually run the games. So we've got young people participating, young people involved with running the games. It's a real celebration. On the back of that, we're looking for the right type of people to come on board to help that movement, really. So business leaders, obviously government help, so that we can actually make some change. Because I know what our programme does. We just need to expand that.
Yeah. One that I like, and I think we have to make a really clear point of, is that when we sat down, you come up with Super 6. Yeah. It's all about what the best athletes and attributes do they have that are all have in common, right? For me, and you taught me this at a young age when I had you, when you were my trainer at Penrith, about respect, human, leaving your ego at the door, looking people in the eyes and shaking their hands. Little things like that go a long way. But the team environment that you created there, mate, if we can pass this knowledge on to young kids and their understanding of what it means to be a good person on and off the field, or any sort of, I suppose, area that you're in, if it's business, if it's sport, if it's just being a good person in general, in the family, whatever it comes down, all comes down to those six
principles, which are the behaviours. So, as you know, Louis, behaviour is your prime mover in life. We have movers and we have blockers, but our behaviour, if it's positive, it becomes our prime mover. So that's humility, sacrifice, loyalty, resilience, following your dreams, and hard work. There are 6 principles of behaviour. A behaviour is something that you put into action, not words on bits of paper, not talking about it, actually putting things into action. So this is obviously what you're talking about.
And this is what I love about it the most too, because if you execute the 6 that you're talking about, it will make you a better person, it'll make you a better athlete, and then you combine that with the training program that you're going to put together for these young kids to go and follow week to week, day by day. Even as an athlete, when I retired, I was lost. You get lost for the first 12 months. You know what you're going to do. You don't know how to set up a new structure or a routine. You know what I mean? To be able to give this to young kids at the age of 7, 8 years old up to for the rest of their life, it will change their life in every aspect. It would help with school. It will help with the way they communicate through family and friends. The way that they can see, I suppose, they can be good in one area and bad in the other, but be able to learn purely through the habits and principles that you've put together. So for me, you're just making an all-round better people, better person, and a better athlete. So I really want to make sure that people who do see this and hear this, that this isn't just a normal program. Like, I've lived and breathed it, I understand it, and I know what it does for people who follow it day by day. So absolutely love it. I can't wait for it. And I think that if the athletes and the people who get involved with this, even if you don't think you are an athlete, get involved and start it, because it will change the way they look at everything, the way that they approach school, the way they approach friendships, the way that everything will change. And I think it's huge what you're doing. So I'm pumped to be a part of it.
Yeah, thanks, Louis. I mean, obviously we've got a long history together, haven't we? A long history of trust and competency. We understand that. My challenge starting this program was the fact that, what was it? How can I make some change in the world? And it isn't a normal program. It isn't. There's nothing wrong with being normal, I must admit, but it is extraordinary in a lot of ways, because it is physical and emotional development. And obviously I struggled with what that actually meant with our 6 behaviours. But obviously I turned that into a mental skills program, which we call Survive and Thrive now, because with young people in particular, they're not necessarily given the tools within the environment that we're in at this moment in time. So the Survive and Thrive program, which is actually into schools now, has been so powerful for those young people. And the games, we want the games to be, the figurehead or the focal point of our program, because it brings the community together over a one weekend. Everybody can see what it does. So it's a showcase of what we do. But the Survive and Thrive program, that mental skill side of things, it's so important for young people. I see that every day when I'm talking to young people in schools. Yeah, they're getting educated at great schools, but they're not really taught this stuff. They're not.
But even to
themselves.
The extent of when we go in and we do a program, down here at Blacktown at BISP here, every kid walks in, shake your hand, look you in the eye, and they go, "Good afternoon, coach," or "Good morning, coach." Yeah. And then when they leave, "Thank you very much, coach." Yeah. It goes a long way. And then, even now, I still get messages off young kids that are there saying that, "What have you done to me? My young fella still makes me train every Christmas day." Yeah. And I love it, because, they take a message, they get the message, and they train hard, and they don't stop, and they know that the bigger outcome is down the path. It is. So it's the amount of kids that I've seen walk out of the program is huge. Yeah. To be able to think about the games, the program that these kids are going to get, the opportunity that all these kids, not just in Blacktown, I know it's going to start in Blacktown, but obviously the goal down the track to have games after games, opportunities for different states, different local councils, local councils and teams, and obviously even coming back to ex-retired athletes, right? Like I said, I was lost. when I first left.
We spoke about that a lot, didn't we?
That's right. But if I had something to walk out and be able to run my own Super 6 gym program and be able to teach these young kids the principles of being a good person, a good athlete, and then obviously give them an opportunity to get into these games later down the track, it's a huge opportunity for everyone to make sure that everyone's going in the right direction and become a better person at the end of it.
Because that's an important point, and part of our program moving forward is actually reaching out to athletes in that transition from stardom to reality. The real world is the fact that you do lose your tribe. Yeah, you do lose that. For you, it was structure, wasn't it, Louis? You'd had every day was planned, and then you had a game.
What to do, where to be,
and ultimately, what people don't understand about professional athletes, elite professional athletes, and famous people like Louis, even though I say so myself, he probably wouldn't like to be called famous, but he was.
Definitely not.
You know, when you win grand finals and get Clive Churchill medals, Louis, you're famous. So the thing is, what happens is you lose your tribe, you lose your purpose, and you lose your identity in some respects, don't you? So we spoke about that a lot when you came out of rugby league. And there are a lot of athletes like that. Now, so to actually offer them a way of maintaining that connection with their community, maintaining some order and some structure, and they feel they've got some worth, self-worth, that they're giving back to the community and helping young people, inspiring young people. Because somebody asked me a while ago, somebody rang me up from the University in Melbourne and said, what made you a good coach? And after waffling on for about 10 minutes, I thought to myself, in actual fact, I've actually been a really good mentor. I think, and don't underestimate the power of good mentorship. It's such a powerful thing. Having the knowledge and the nuts and bolts of how to do sets and reps and structure around training and speed and fitness and strength work, that's important. But actually connecting with young people and creating an environment of trust and competency where they can feel safe in your presence, and you can mentor them with our behaviours, and show them a different path in life in a lot of respects. It's such a powerful thing. And I'm really passionate about it. We've been doing this now for 8 years, since I came out of high performance. And that's been a challenge. It's nothing in life's easy when you want to create change. And our second rule is sacrifice. And yeah, we've made plenty of sacrifices to get to this point. But I'm just so excited about next year. There's a lot of work to be done. But I can see it. I know you're into seeing it and believing it, and manifesting it and making things happen that way. But, you know, I can see the games, and it's going to be such a powerful, exciting event to bring the youth together. Not just athletes, as I said earlier on, but all youth. A celebration of young people. And giving them the tools, to have a great day and enjoyment, and try to work hard to achieve something by becoming the best all-round young athlete in the Blacktown, Western Sydney area. But more than that, feeling part of something that's greater than themselves, feeling part of a community that they can reach out to if they need help with our programs. So, I'm really excited about it, Lou, and it's great seeing you today. And, and we're just going to move forward, and hopefully 4 or 5 years down the line, we'll talk about this and the amazing changes that we've made in community.
So, the $1 million question is, how do the kids get involved?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Louis. So ultimately, we have a website now, which is super6youthgames.com.au. It's a new website. I had to think about it for a second there. So again, that's super6youthgames.com.au. And we have some brochures, and we have, obviously, you can log on. You can visit the webpage. And we have a QR code, and you can follow, and you can register. So all athletes are welcome. We want everybody to register for these games. All sports, whatever background that you come from, because it's a celebration. So just log on, register. We've got enough space for a lot of athletes. So don't be shy. We need to really start promoting that. So over the next few months, you'll be seeing lots of things in the media, and reaching out to schools. So there's going to be a vehicle for everybody to actually register, but we just need to support the parents in particular. I have a really close connection with all my parents. As you know, one of our rules is we keep parents away from our training environment because we want our athletes to develop independent thinking. But in saying that, I have a really close affiliation with all my parents because I understand the challenges they have with bringing young people up as well. So we need to have the trust of the parents for them to realise this is something that's really worthwhile. It's more than a game. It's about bringing the community together. So yeah, you'll be able to find how to register through our social media links, and obviously we've got our website.
All right, now last question for me. Tell me some more about the events.
The events. So all athletes will compete in a range of events. So it's a range of events which test various aspects of physicality, but also skill. We had to have a limit to the events, but we looked into it from various different angles. So the events are two things, a mix of athletic ability and skill, but secondary, they're also going to be utilised as talent identification, with some events in particular, which there's going to be more press release about some of our events moving forward. So we have a 100-metre sprint, because the 100-metre sprint is the blue ribbon of speed. We have an 800-metre shuttle. So it wasn't just an 800-metre run. It's actually an 800-metre shuttle, because most field-based and court-based sports are shuttle-based events. We have an NFL gridiron ball throw for distance, and we'll talk about that a little bit more moving forward. But that will be linked for identifying talent for quarterbacks for the upcoming 2028 Olympics.
I was going to say, you had to do something in the Olympics.
Yeah, so he does. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. That's really exciting, what's happening with that talent identification. So that's probably a podcast on its own. So the gridiron ball throw for distance. We also have a basketball netball shootout, which is a bit of a skill under pressure, under fatigue. And so again, that's hand-eye coordination skill. We have a standing long jump. And we also have an anaerobic blitz cardio equipment, explosive 30-second efforts on air bike, rower and ski erg. So we're basically covering all physical abilities, but also skill as well. But in the final, which is in May next year, there'll also be a little bit of an assault course at the end, or a skills conditioning type of event where the top 8, after all the events, will actually race off to find out who the best athlete is. And there's going to be really good prizes for first, second and third. And we've been talking about that today, but I'm not going to...
Don't ruin it.
I'm not going to ruin it, Louis. So we'll be announcing the prizes in the next few weeks, but it's really exciting about the prizes. So look, the events, the athlete has to perform in all the events. Once you actually register, you'll be given a training program to actually start to practice these events.
Yep.
So you come prepared, as well as our mental skills program. And we're also going to have some community-based events prior to that, which are like a promotional event where they're all going to come together and the athletes, and we're actually going to practice these events.
So what about the kids? How are they going to learn about the events? How are they going to practice it? If they're going to look at the events, how do they practice it?
Yeah. So look, once the athletes register, they're going to be given a pack, which is like obviously a training program. They receive the mental skills program, our Survive and Thrive. But we're also actually going to put together some orientation live events. Live meaning that they're going to be invited. We'll have some experts there where the athletes actually practice the events. And it'll also be a great occasion to bring the whole community together. And it's a bit of a celebration again, bringing all the athletes together. They'll make new friends, and they'll practice all the events together, which will give them a bit of a real understanding of what they're going to do. But then obviously we're going to have, the age groups are between under 12s and under 18s, under 12s, 13s, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18s, boys and girls. We're also going to have some events for disabled athletes, which will be announced very soon. And we'll have 2 qualifying events. So the athletes within their age group will have to go through a qualifying event. And if they're lucky enough and blessed enough, they'll be invited to the final, which will be in May next year, which will be a fantastic event, which will bring everybody together. Obviously, for this to happen, we'll make it happen anyhow, Louis, because we're doers, aren't we? We're not gunners, we're doers. We'll walk over hot coals to get this done, because it's important for young people. But we need to have everybody within the community coming together. If this is a truly community-based event, we need community leaders, and the council have been fantastic. I can't say it enough. Tony Bleedsdale, the Lord Mayor, he's been fantastic. The council are on board. They're sponsoring the event as well. But we need to be looking in for local business leaders as well.
Absolutely, super important.
Because, you work a lot. Obviously, you've got your own businesses, Louis, and you've always understood that side of the world, how business leaders think. But if there's one thing that is important for me, it's about young people, it's about community, it's about giving young people the right direction and mentorship in life. And I know that business leaders get asked about things a lot of the time, but from your perspective, what do you think that they can get out of it?
Well, look, they'll get a lot out of it because I'm a big believer that the more you give, the more you get back. That's my theory. But I'm a big believer if you're making money in a community in an area, you've got to give the money back that you make in the community in an area to return, to get your return on investment. That's my personal opinion. So I'm a big believer on, like, if you are in the area and you're a business in the area, you grew up in the area and you love the area, give back to the area and it will come back. So that's what I believe in. That's what I think how it actually works. Am I right? Who knows? But it has worked for some of the stuff that we've been doing in business. You know, give back, it comes back. So they'll get a lot out of meeting, their networks. Be able to come together and meet people that you had never met before in different businesses that might be able to start a whole new different avenue that you had never thought of before. So, but being involved in the community, meeting people in the community, and just having those chats and obviously showing your support to young kids. Yeah. It goes to show that, that community, whenever they see your branding, they go, well, you know what, they supported our kids, let's support them. And that's how I think it will come back. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in the background as well that, might be opportunities that you never thought of before.
Yeah, and I think that way too, Louis. But for me, it's obviously giving the corporate world something that they could actually see and aspire to. Obviously, the games is the vehicle for them to promote their business as a community-based business. We have some packs that are going to be distributed very soon with various different levels of engagement from businesses. And we'll do whatever it takes and whatever within our power to make sure that, there's a dollar value to what they invest in us with promotions and marketing and the best opportunity they can have from these games. So look, we want to engage with that community. It's really important to us because we've got a lot to do. So having the engagement of the youth, the parents, the local government, and the business community, ultimately they're the main drivers in our communities. Young people, the parents, business and government. So if
the other thing is too, though, I'm just thinking about it, like if you are a business owner and you're in the community, you get to see these young kids who have been taught now the principles of what we believe in to make a good person, a good athlete. You might be looking for someone who's needs a little bit of leadership to come in, but you want young leadership to come in who can continue to drive. What a perfect place to find it.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to find young kids who are driven, who are willing to follow rules and principles that makes a good person and a good leader. And then, who knows? It might be the next person that comes in and runs your business for you, 5-10 years down the track. So I think it's another good opportunity to meet young kids who have got that kind of mindset who want to be better.
Yeah, and we've done this type of stuff in the past, haven't we, Louis?
Yeah.
So obviously part of the games is competing, but the other part is actually being a volunteer. So our volunteer youth groups, they'll have a big role to play as well. So when we're talking about leadership and organisational skills, so there's a vehicle for them to showcase their abilities on actually running an event, working with the community. So look, there's a lot to be done. And as we know, our workload is relatively high, but we're going to make them sacrifices with our time and our energy. But we need everybody on board with this for it to be as successful as it needs to be. We do need to engage with our local business community, and we're looking for the right people. Yeah, it's not about the dollars really; it's about the right people joining us on our journey to make social change, truly to make social change. And our future is young people. And as a good parent like you are, Louis, young people need good mentors, and they need direction. Our values give them the discipline for them to be disciplined in life and develop respect in life, which are really key things moving forward. So, it's really important. We're really driven to make sure this thing happens, but we need the right people joining us within this movement. It is a movement at the end of the day to create social change.